think from around 2021, this stock called Novo Nordisk began to see a rapid price surge. So in the middle of 2021, the share price was around $35. And then recently, last night, the share price was around $134. So over a period of about 3 to 4 years, the share price has almost quadrupled. And then similarly for this other pharmaceutical company, Eli Lilly, in the middle of 2021, the share price was only about around $200. But then last night, the share was trading at $800. So it's also a quadrupling of the share price over a period of 3 to 4 years. So a little bit more about these two companies. Novo Nordisk is a Denmark pharmaceutical company and is listed on the New York Stock Exchange via the ticker code NVO. Whereas Eli Lilly is a US company, is also listed on the NYSE with the ticker code of LLY. So how did these drugs go viral? Okay, one of the reason is because of Elon Musk. Sometime around 2022, people began to notice that Elon Musk has lost quite a bit of weight and over a very short period of time. So there were speculations that he could have gotten weight loss surgery because surgery is probably the only way that people can lose weight so quickly over a very short period of time. So Elon Musk was also very generous. When he was asked by somebody on X, he replied to let everybody know that the reason for his rapid weight loss was due to fasting, as well as Wegovy, or the use of the drug Wegovy. And this was sometime around October 2022. Then in November the same year, somebody asked the question again. And then Elon Musk replied that it was due to fasting, Ozempic or Wegovy, and no tasty food. Yeah, so he kept mentioning Wegovy as well as Ozempic, so that fat weight loss drug. Yeah. So besides Elon Musk, many other celebrities and high-profile names were also using Ozempic. So Oprah Winfrey, for example, you can see the very drastic weight loss in the two photos. So she was also taking Ozempic. And then also for Robbie Williams, he's said to have lost more than 25 pounds or 12 kilos just taking Ozempic. And also this US celebrity, Amy Schumer, she also, you can see from the photo, there's quite a bit of weight loss. But it's not just the celebrity and the big stars that are using using the drug. So if you there's actually many different social media. Okay, so if you go to social media, you'll see all these just everyday regular people all commenting, putting up blogs, videos, before and after photos of the use of Wegovy and Ozempic. Okay, but what was the reason why Ozempic and Wegovy really took off? Because even before these two drugs, there were also already many endless list of weight loss drugs in the market. But how come only these two took the world by storm? AMA officially recognized obesity as a chronic disease. So the important keyword is official recognition as well as a chronic disease. Right. So prior to this, right, prior to this event, obesity is considered a personal matter, or is due to personal habit, personal responsibility. It's not a medical situation. And because of this, right, obese people don't get a lot of help to treat their situation. And then what happened after is that obesity is now categorized as a medical condition. So it's official. And then with this officiation, right, doctors become legitimized to treat the condition. So in medical school, they start to teach about this obesity. And also the doctors at the hospital, which are already in the field, they also now have authority to prescribe drugs and treatment targeted for obesity. And not only that, because with this pivotal event, right, a whole new market actually opens up for the obesity market. And then pharmaceuticals see this opportunity, so they begin to plow money into research. And with more money, more people, more time spent into research, many more drugs get developed and developed faster. And not only that, the drugs also became better in terms of what they can treat. And also due to this increase in volume of production, the drugs actually become cheaper also. And for the individuals, the improvement will be they get better access to treatment. So in terms of hospital or clinics, they now have more choices. And the process of treatment is also very systematic. So they will know what drug to take for how long and until when. And then because there's money opportunity, hospital and clinics are willing to spend. So they engage more nurses, more doctors. And because this is now a very is considered a medical condition, so individuals who are obese don't feel shy or embarrassed to approach the clinic for treatment. And due to all this very systematic this systemization of this obesity treatment, so obese individuals, they also feel more confident when they approach for help. And finally, also due to this event, right, government also start to look at the problem, and then they also can now offer support lah. Or that means they can come up with plans to help individuals. And increasingly, we are also seeing more and more insurance company beginning to include treatment for obesity under their coverage. Not all insurance, but some progressively more and more insurance companies are allowing claims for this treatment. Okay, now we take a look at the companies. Okay, due to this very viral takeoff of the drugs, right? These two pharmaceutical companies begin to make a lot of money, and then the share price increased a lot as well. For Novo Nordisk, the company is now so big that their market cap of 473 billion is bigger than Denmark, the country that they are from. And this market cap of 473 billion is also comparable to the GDP of Singapore, or that means the entire collection of Singapore's economic activities is still less than the market cap of Novo Nordisk. And Eli Lilly is even bigger at 822 billion, is comparable to the GDP of Switzerland. This is a chart, a table showing the US company ranking by market cap. So these are the top 10 biggest listed company in the US. It's hard to get on this list, but we see that Eli Lilly is in number 9. And it's also approaching the this very exclusive $1 trillion US dollar benchmark. Most analysts are of the view that Eli Lilly may be the first big pharma to enter this exclusive club. Or currently, there's only 6 companies with market cap more than 1 trillion. And Novo Nordisk is also remarkable because it's the largest Europe company by market cap. It just overtook LVMH last year in 2023. And ASML also overtook LVMH just last week. Okay, so Novo Nordisk was founded 100 years ago, and then by this couple, August and Marie. So how they came about was that they acquired this formula for insulin, and this was extracted from ox pancreas, which explains why the logo is a ox with some design that look like a pancreas. And then over the next 100 years, the company focused mainly just on treating diabetes. And then they have a lot of innovation. And today, the company is a world-leading manufacturer of diabetic treatment drugs. So here's some info from the company report. We see the green color line first. Okay, this one is the insulin market share. That means over the last 3 to 4 years, Novo Nordisk produces around 44% of all the insulin that are used in the world today. And then if we take a look at the light blue line, 50%, 53%, 54, and 55%. This one is for GLP-1. Well, GLP-1 is the drug that is for weight loss. Later, we'll talk more about it. But you can see that it is also a very large market share, above 50%. Some notable discovery by Novo Nordisk will be this longer-lasting insulin. You can see that in the old days, it's all using this a very simple needle. There's no it's just a very simple instrument, quite easy to break, and then the user will have to measure their own volume of the medication. So this can lead to either overdosage or underdosage. And then the company is also notable for inventing the Novo pen or the injection pen. So with this design, right, it's more portable and then also more precise. So for users, it's a very much improved experience. And finally, this is one of the greatest discovery, this synthetic chemical called semaglutide. I highlight it in yellow because this is a very important compound. Okay, this one is a man-made chemical or man-made, and then using recombinant DNA technology. This semaglutide is a GLP-1 agonist, and it is made from yeast. It is the active ingredient that is used in the Ozempic and Wegovy pens. So this shows the progression. This one is collected from yeast, and then they extract out the required, and then do a recombinant DNA processing, and then it will then be found in all these injection pens. So now we look more at the product because to understand the company and its growth potential, we need to also know what they are selling. So their main selling product is this semaglutide, and earlier I mentioned it's a GLP-1 agonist, meaning it mimics almost exactly the behavior of GLP-1. So GLP-1 is a hormone that is produced by the human intestine after meal. Also, every one of us here, our intestine will produce GLP-1 after we eat anything. Right. And then this GLP-1, or if you take the injection, semaglutide, either one of them will cause the pancreas to secrete insulin, which will lower blood sugar. And then GLP-1 will also travel to the brain, where it will cause the brain to release chemical. And then this chemical will give us this sensation of having eaten, of satiation. It will suppress appetite, and it will tell us to stop eating. But one bad thing about the chemicals is that they also cause nausea, which is quite understandable because imagine if we go from being very hungry to eating to fullness, and then we eat some more, then we'll get this feeling of nausea. This is due to this GLP-1. GLP-1 naturally doesn't last very long. The half-life is only about 1.5 minutes. But with this semaglutide, this man-made compound, the half-life is 7 days. So earlier we already talked about the benefits of this semaglutide, which are also the selling point of this drug. Okay, it creates feeling of satiation, reduce food craving, lower blood sugar, as well as allows for weight loss. Okay, in addition to this main function of the drug, there's also other side benefits, including lowering of heart attack and stroke risk, increased fertility in female users, as well as there's evidence that shows that these drugs are effective in treating Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and also some liver and kidney diseases. But it's not all with just benefit, there's also side effect. So the common effect will be nausea, vomiting, and then some users also complain about having diarrhea or constipation or extreme end of the spectrum. Other users complain about abdominal discomfort, or meaning sometimes when you feel something's not right, or in the abdominal area, and then some complain about abdominal pain and loss of muscle. Okay, for more serious cases, there's also inflammation of the pancreas or injury to the kidney, and it can also cause blocked intestines. And there were also some users who reported that they begin to observe themselves having suicidal thought and behavior. And most importantly, patients who stop using the drug, they are usually observed to regain most of their weight back. One example would be Boris Johnson, the former UK Prime Minister. So he's now writing a column for the Daily Mail. And then in one of his articles, he said that he was on a drug for a while, but then the drugs were making him ill. So he has since stopped taking the drug and is now back on exercise. So from the photos, you can see the weight changes when he was on the drug, and then when he's no longer on the drug, so he regained back a bit of the weight. And besides semaglutide, this other compound called tirzepatide is also very interesting. It's also one of the ingredients used for weight loss. What is interesting about tirzepatide is that it's not just a GLP-1 agonist, but it's also a GIP agonist. That means it has a dual dual pathway for to help with weight loss. So this GIP is also a hormone produced in the intestine after meal, and similar to GLP-1, it allows for lowering of blood sugar. But what is different is that when it goes to the brain, it causes the brain to release chemicals to release nausea. So if you recall earlier for GLP-1, when it goes to the brain, it causes us to feel nauseated, but this is the opposite for GIP, which is why Eli Lilly, they are combining the use of both GLP-1 with GIP, and then they call this compound tirzepatide, and they put it into their diabetes and weight loss treatment called Mounjaro and Zepbound. So with this combined effect, there's more weight loss observed, as well as fewer side effects. So in one recent study, Zepbound was found to help patients drop 21% of their body weight, whereas it's only 15% for Wegovy. So now we take a look at the four main hot selling products: Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound. So the first two, Ozempic and Wegovy, they are produced by Novo Nordisk, and the active ingredient is semaglutide. The difference why they are called different names is only just for branding. Ozempic is the brand name for the same treatment, but it's more targeted for type 2 diabetes. Whereas for Wegovy, is the indicated treatment for chronic weight management. And similarly, Eli Lilly also has the same categorization. They have one for diabetes, another one for weight management, or they call them Mounjaro and Zepbound. Eli Lilly uses a tirzepatide. And also one interesting thing to note is that for the products they're using semaglutide, the dosage are lower, or from 0.25 mg to 2.4 mg, or meaning they use less ingredient. Compared to tirzepatide, a higher volume is needed, or 2.5 mg to 15 mg. Also, meaning in terms of ingredient, more is needed for Eli Lilly's product. This is important because at the moment the two companies are facing production issue. They are not producing enough to cater to the demand, the overwhelming demand. So this is how you administer the injection. You find an area around your abdomen or your thigh or upper arm, then you inject and yeah, hold it for 10 seconds. And the dosage is similar. You have to do a ladder up format. Also, you start with a low dose for a few weeks, and then you gradually increase the dosage until you reach the full dose, and then you stay on this maximum dosage for the rest of for as long as you want to use the drug. Or because I remember the use of this drug require constant usage. You cannot drop off. Once you drop off, the weight will come back. Okay, so we now take a look at the pricing. Um, the the drugs are actually very expensive. So this is the pricing for 1 month's supply. So for Ozempic is $936 per month. And then for Wegovy is as high as 1,349. So these are very expensive treatment. But then you'll be surprised to know that the production cost is only $5, or according to this Yale University study. But then the Novo Nordisk CEO did respond to this. He said that this study only take into account the product, the ingredient cost, but it doesn't take into account the full process, or including building the production facility and labor costs, yeah, and distribution costs. But all in all, we still see that it's a very high margin business, or this production of this weight loss drugs. There's currently uh, overwhelming demand for all these drugs, and Wegovy users have said that they are not able to buy this drug. So to counter the problem, Novo Nordisk is limiting the sales of Wegovy to only patients who are already on the drug. Also meaning the higher dosage are available, so that existing patients, they can continue to stay on the drug and not drop off. Whereas for new users, there's still limited supply, so it's harder for new users to come on board to start the program. But this is one way that Novo Nordisk is deploying at the moment to address this supply shortage issue. And the same is observed for Eli Lilly's product, Monjaro and Zepbound, there's also some shortages in various dosage of the injections. The demand presently is so overwhelming that in the market there's already counterfeit products. And then what happened is that some users who use these counterfeit products, they observed this condition called, they went into this condition called hypoglycemia, where their blood sugar dropped below normal functional levels. The reason is because these counterfeit products are thought to be contain insulin, and then it resulted in many people being hospitalized. Due to this very big and growing demand, both companies are doing expansion work. So for Novo Nordisk, what they're presently they are only producing this semaglutide at 2 factories in the world, one in Denmark and another one in the US. At the moment, they are already in the works of expanding their plant in Denmark. But this new extended plant will only start production in 2029. That means about 5 years later. Whereas for Eli Lilly, they have already started to expand their facility in the last 4 years. So they started expansion earlier, or maybe better foresight of the market. And then their plants will progressively start to begin production from 2024 to 2028. So for Lilly, it is thought that they will be able to ramp up their production faster than Novo Nordisk presently. Unless, of course, but of course, it's still many years away. Novo Nordisk can still come up with strategy to ramp up their production. Another difference between the two companies is their production method. So presently, Novo Nordisk is using yeast culture as their starter ingredient. And then all the production is kept in-house, meaning they are worried about quality control. They are not outsourcing their manufacturing to contractors. The thing about using yeast to produce semaglutide is that it takes longer to ramp up. But if done right, the production cost can be lower. So this picture show a sample of a yeast, and then of course some extraction work, and then they'll put them into this very big tanks for further processes. And then for Eli Lilly, they are using chemical methods to produce terzepatide, or meaning just a mixing of chemicals to produce this terzepatide. They're also engaging with external manufacturers to help make their Z-bound product. And due to this different approach in terms of manufacturing expansion, the view is that the production at Lilly could see faster increase. Okay, due to this, but of course, even with Lilly's expansion work, it will still take a few years before the production volume can fully catch up with 100% of the market demand. So for this reason, the longer they take to increase their production, then the more sales they will lose to this group of pharmacy called the compounding pharmacy. So for in the US, pharmacies are allowed to manufacture and sell copycat version of a drug if the drug is in shortage, or in this practice is called compounding. One such company using this approach is Hims and Hers Health. Also, Hims and Hers, they are using external compounding companies to help them make this semaglutide views. which is the same ingredient that is found in Wegovy and Ozempic. But one big difference is that the cost, the retail price is only $199 a month. So you compare this to the four main brands uh, where they are retailing at $1,000. So this is almost a discount of price cut of 80 to 90%. And for this okay, so this is a price chart. For this reason, Hims and Hers stock has seen a rapid surge in the last 4 months. So from April until now, just 4 months, the stock has increased more than 100%. But the thing with compounded drug is that there are safety concerns. These compounded drugs, unlike the big four, they are not FDA very approved, not FDA verified. So there's some concern over their safety and quality control, as well as the effectiveness of the drug, because there's no extensive research or clinical studies into the drugs before they are marketed. In the US, if you want to get FDA approval for the drug, the process will take many, many, many years. For semaglutide, for example, it took Novo 20 years before they get the FDA approval. So due to this reason, right, not FDA verified, but faster launch to market, it can lead to compounding companies not taking enough care, and that it might lead to contamination or incorrect dosage or other quality issues. One very famous case will be the 2012 fungal meningitis outbreak in the US. So this fungal meningitis, right, is an infection of the membrane of the central nervous system and the brain. And then this picture shows a brain cell with the fungal infection shown in the black color. So the cause of this outbreak was traced to fungal contamination in 3 batches of medicine used for this epidural injection, or where it's injected into the spinal cord usually, sometimes even the back of the neck, but still part of the central nervous system. And then what happened was that a total of 17,000 contaminated vials were shipped out across the US. And then more than 14,000 people received the injection. So it resulted in 800 infected cases and more than 100 deaths. So this is one of the more famous record of what happened if there's contamination during the drug manufacturing. And this is a company that was responsible for the contaminated vials. So the company actually this pharmacy was only licensed to produce small batches of drugs for individual patient, or they are not supposed to be producing in large quantity to sell in bulk. But this was what they did, and then it resulted maybe in lapse in some of their processes. So the people responsible were arrested and tried. Okay, now we go to part 4. Because this is a financial webinar, so we want to look at the market. Earlier, we were understanding the company as well as the product. So now we look at the market. Okay, so obesity, as we mentioned, after the officiation of it as a chronic disease, is now a market opportunity. So let's do some exercise for participation. Okay, so this is the BMI chart. So how you use this chart is you check on the left-hand side for your height in centimeter, and then you look across the row for your weight in kg. And then depending on which zone you fall into, you could be underweight, healthy, overweight, or obese. So you can use this chart to find out what is your weight uh, to be considered as overweight, and also what is the weight to be considered as obese. Because then if you fall into this category, you are a potential customer to use uh, a Novo or Eli Lilly's product. And it was doing this preparation of this these materials that I realized that I learned that actually overweight is not the same as obese, or they're actually two different category. So the overweight category refers to individuals who have BMI of 25 to 30, whereas for the obese category refers to individual with a BMI of 30 to 35. And then of course, anything more than 35 is uh, another category or extreme obesity. The drugs are targeting the three categories on the right, or overweight, obese, and extremely obese. And of course, the market opportunity is there because globally there's a obesity problem, or especially in the US, in the Americas, both North America as well as South America. Also, overweight zone will include also the Middle East area, the Middle East country over here, as well as Australia and New Zealand, and South Africa. Interestingly, the rest of Africa is healthier, much healthier, green zone. Also, most part of Asia is also very healthy. And the US is famous because amongst all the countries with more than 1 million individual, uh, they are the number one country with the highest percentage of overweight people, or as a proportional to the population, 36% during this period from 2012 to 2020. And the situation is not improving. In fact, they're getting more and more overweight over there. We see that in 1987, all the states are blue color, or where there's there's no state where it's more than 15% overweight. Uh, Whereas if you then you see progressively over the years, they begin to add more and more category. Also, they add in a 15 to 19, then a 20 to 24, and then more than 25%, more than 30%. And then the most recent one in 2021, they even have a category for 50% plus. So meaning in certain part of US, there's actually the population, more than half of them are obese, or not overweight, but obese. Which is why there's a very big market for the Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. Okay, so now we take a look at the investment merits and risks. Um, yeah, so presently it's almost a duopoly for Novo and Lilly. They are the two biggest manufacturer and getting the uh, biggest slice of the pie. But of course, with the current shortage issue, compounding pharmacies taking have this opportunity to do compounding, or due to this regulation which allows them to do compounding in the event of shortage. So one such company will be him and hers. So they are chipping away at some of the sales of Novo and Lilly. And another investment consideration, would be the patent. Presently, all four big products are protected by patent, but the patents will expire over time. So for Ozempic, for example, the patent will expire around 2026 in China, and then 2031 in US and Europe. And then what happened with when the patent expire is that competitor pharmacy can now come up with a generic version of the same treatment drugs. Or because already at this time, 2024, 2 years before the expiry of Ozempic in China, there's already observed to be at least 11 semaglutide drugs manufactured by competitor pharmacies in China that are already in final clinical trials. Also, once the patent expire, these competitor companies would already have their product ready on to ship out to the market. So the drop in sales could be very fast once the patent expired. One observation, we are beginning to see a small bit of this. If we take a look at Ozempic sales in China for the last 5 quarters, we see this very interesting trend where the sales number increased very rapidly over the first 3 quarters, and then there was a sharp drop in the fourth and fifth quarter. Whereas we look across at other regions, the numbers are all almost increasing. It's all on an uptrend for the 5 years. It's only for the Chinese market where it's inverted V, or it's an inverted V trend. One reason could be because, as we mentioned just now, that there's already products manufactured by Chinese companies that are in final trial. So it could be that already some of these products are already finding their ways into the main market. Of course, we cannot be sure about this, but this could be one possible reason. And also this could be what happened if once the patent expire and the drugs goes generic. Okay, but of course, Novo Nordisk and Lilly, they will not be sitting still. What they are doing is they are coming up with better and improved versions of their best-selling drug. So, for example, for Novo, other than the injected version, the injection pen version of semaglutide, they have also already launched to market this tablet form, or they brand this as a Rybelsus. So this one is a tablet form. It's suitable for people who don't want to do the injection, or maybe it's painful and also just take a tablet. Yeah. Then also we see that Novo Nordisk, they have besides this semaglutide, besides Ozempic and Wegovy, they actually have many others, diabetic care and weight management care brands and product. Or some of it is derived from semaglutide. Some are other version of other agonist drug. We see, for example, over here, right, OMGLP1/GIP or/GIP. And then remember, GIP is the co-agonist that is used by Eli Lilly for tirzepatide. Yeah, so this was not previously available and currently still not available to market by Novo, but they are already beginning to develop this similar product to also capture this market who wants a dual pathway for weight loss. And they also have Novo also are introducing this new segment called cardiovascular and emerging therapy areas. Previously, they don't have this segment in their business, or they do not have treatments for this part. But I'm guessing this could be derived from the observed effect by semaglutide, because semaglutide has been observed to help with cardiovascular as well. So Novo is also continuing to innovate and push out more products to capture market. And same for Lilly. Lilly, for example, we see in the report, they are now testing tirzepatide for obstructive sleep apnea, Also meaning they are hoping to add more benefits to their best-selling product. But of course, they need to go through all this research, clinical trial, and then get FDA approval for the product to sell in the open market and for the public to have confidence to make it go viral. Also, they are coming up with other products such as retatrutide for type 2 diabetes. This one is not tirzepatide or not semaglutide, is another compound. But of course, they are doing all this research to improve their offering. So, of course, another investment consideration is that users will need to stay on the drug to maintain their weight loss. This is good for the company because there's a dependency on the drug. It's not addiction, but it's a dependency. So if you want to continue to keep your weight down, then you have to keep buying their products. So it's a recurring revenue for the companies. And of course, the opportunity is not just in the US, but also globally. In the US, there's 180 million obese people, but globally, there's almost 900 million obese people. And then these numbers are still on an uptrend. This is by World Health Organization, WHO. Yeah. And so it's a growing, constantly still growing market. So they have more people to sell the drug to every year. Or new people come on board and are a potential customer. All right. So one risk consideration will be political interference, because especially in the US. For example, this Bernie Sanders, he's recently called out Novo's product for being too expensive, but he's surprisingly silent on Eli Lilly's product, although they are both in the same price range. But because Novo is a Denmark company, but Eli Lilly is a US company. So presently, he's just singling out Novo. And then he said that he's going to call the CEO to meet up with a committee to talk about the drug prices. Also, he's putting pressure on Novo to lower the price. And then also the committee will vote, to have the CEO turn up for questioning. So the vote will be on the 18th of June, and then the hearing will be 10th of July if it proceeds. And then, of course, if you invest in all this pharmaceutical company, especially in this very hot-selling product, there's always a risk of contamination as the companies try to speed up their production. So, so any incident involving contamination will be catastrophic and will impact sales. And some could be permanent impact on the sales. Okay, and also another concern would be that the share price is too high, which is understandable because if we look at the price chart, we see it's almost a vertical line up. And presently, the PE ratio of the company, PE multiple, is at 48 times. This is one of the historical high PE for Novo Nordisk. And for Eli Lilly, the PE is even higher. It's at 124 times. And similarly, this is also the highest PE observed for pharmaceutical company of this size. And similarly for Hims and Hers, the share price has ran up more than 133% increase over 4 months. So what would be the common market valuation or the analyst valuation consensus for the share price? So for Novo Nordisk, the current share price is about 141, and then the analyst target is about 144. So it's almost in line with what the analysts are valuing the stock at. And there's 10 analysts calling to buy the stock, one to hold and one to sell. For Eli Lilly, the analyst target price is $868. The last time price around 865, so it's slightly below the analyst target price. There's 25 analysts saying to buy the stock, six to say hold the stock, and one say sell. For hims and hers, is the most uh, uh, differentiated from and the analyst price target. Analyst price target is 17.69, and the share price currently is about $22. It's already above the analyst price target. So now if you were to take a look at the stock comparison, okay, we see in terms of PE, Novo is seems to be at a more reasonable level. Although 48 times is really very high, but given that there's a lot of opportunity still there, and it's a very it's a big growing market, and demand is very, very strong. So we believe, I personally, I believe 48 times is still reasonable. So based on pricing, I would go with Novo Nordisk as a recommendation of the three companies. Whereas if we were to look at, now next we look at margins, gross profit margin, operating profit margin, and net profit margin. So if we were to look across for three companies, we see that the numbers are better for Novo, bigger profit margins all around. Whereas for Lilly, the profit margins are lower. Or if you recall, because one reason could be because Novo, yeah, Lilly, they will need more volume of their ingredient in their product. So based on margin consideration, I would also at this point still go with Novo for recommendation of the three companies. Next, we look at the ramp up um, execution. So earlier we mentioned that Novo is expanding their Denmark plant, but this will only complete in 2029. Whereas for Lilly, they will be getting production up progressively from 2024 to 2028. So for this reason, based on the ramp up potential, Lilly is the choice. And also because of this reason, some analysts are saying that Eli Lilly's Z-Pound product is will probably become the best-selling product in history. Also, but of course, we will have to wait to see if that pans out. Okay, the first table on top shows the sales figures for Novo Nordisk two products, Ozempic and Wegovy, and the second table shows the sales figure for Mounjaro and Zepbound from Eli Lilly. So as of the latest quarter, 2024 Q1, we see that the sales volume from Eli Lilly is only about half of comparable products by Novo Nordisk. But of course, both are increasing. The rate of increase is higher for Eli Lilly, but of course, that is also because they are coming from a lower base. And expectations are that Lilly will catch up in terms of their sales, and then may even possibly overtake the sales number for Novo, due to their the possibility that they can increase production faster. Right, so with that, we come to almost the end of the session. So we'd like to talk about this welcome gift for you if you have not yet started up CFD trading. So from now until 31st August, if you open a new account, we'll be giving you free contract, either Palantir TSM or Microsoft. So the condition is that you need to open a CFD account. Then if you just open a CFD account, you immediately will qualify for one contract or volunteer. And then if you open an account and you trade 1.5 million in value, you will also receive TSM. And then if you open an account and trade 4.5 million in contract value, you will receive Microsoft. So you can scan the QR code or visit the website provided by my colleague in the chat to find out more about this campaign. And if you wish to open an account, you can scan this QR code and you can let us know if you need any help from here. Right, and with that, we have come to the this is the last slide, so we'll go to Q&A. You can type in the web chat or in the Q&A if you have any questions. So in the meantime, I will just toggle across the two last slides. So you can either scan the QR code for the welcome gift or to open account. Right. Okay, so one of the first questions that we have here is how long are the patent duration for the weight loss drugs? Right. Uh, okay, this one from what we see earlier, okay, so for example, Ozempic, um, they have launched it sometime, I think, let me see here. So they got FDA approval for Ozempic in 2017. And then the patent will expire around 2026 to 2031. Actually, it will vary from region to region. So it will depend on uh, the region consideration. Yeah, but generally it's for yeah, I don't know the exact duration as well, but yeah, but we do know that expiry will be in 2026 and 2031 for Ozempic. Right. Any recommendation on the buy and sell price? Currently, for no, because the prices has run up a lot. Let me show the pricing. Yeah, so this is the price chart for Novo Nordisk. So we see that it has already run up beyond any historical price. So of course, presently people are buying the stock for the future outlook because this is a many-year, multi-year growth opportunity for the company. So at the moment, there's actually no upper cap to the share price. But of course, you have to consider the valuation if you buy into the share. So 48 times, I would say, is a fair value, not too expensive, given the growth that this company will have. But of course, you have to consider other risks as well because for Novo, their ramp up will be slower. So it's likely that there's a risk that they may lose some of their market, which is why the P is only 48. Whereas for Airline Lily, the PE is 124, and people are still buying and pushing up the price. Also, as you can see, I think just one of yesterday or 2 days ago is a historical high price again. So for Lily, it's hard, especially for Lily, it's hard to call top because at this point, I feel it is already overpriced, overvalued, but people are still chasing the stock higher. But of course, they are chasing it not without reason. The growth potential is definitely there, and really based on what the company announced, uh, they will ramp up production progressively over the next 5 years. Much will be earlier than Novo, so there is a chance that they could capture market share from Novo. But of course, is it worth this cap this is it worth this high valuation? Personally, I feel that there's a bigger risk for Lily, but of course, we will not know whether it will when it will drop lah. Or but if of course it could continue to trade up for still quite some time. But definitely at this price is the market is ahead of the stock already. The stock valuation uh, is not able to account for this valuation at this price. Yeah, one other question is after Novo patent in China expired, can users in US and Europe import the China-made product? Yeah, it's an interesting view. Uh, this one I'm not too sure, but I think for individuals, some individuals may be able to find a way to get the drugs shipped to them. So this can happen because even between Singapore and JB, there are Singaporeans who buy drugs from JB pharmacies and then ship over. So it's possible, and yeah, it could chip at it could cause some impact on the overall revenue. Okay, another question is about Hims and Hers. Since Hims and Hers is allowed, will the insurance agency accept them in US? Uh, okay, Hims and Hers, they are using compounding, so they don't have a FDA approved uh, semaglutide or tirzepatide uh, product. So they are more of a compounding uh, via compounding lah. So given this, I don't think insurance company will allow coverage. Because even for the big four, the one that is that went through many years of clinical trials before they get the FDA approval, is not all. There's only a limited number of insurance company that is covering for this treatment. So it's still very early stages for insurance company to cover for obesity treatment. Okay, can you have to take a quick look at VTRS? I think it's biking. Let me take a look. Yeah. Oh, sorry. VR trees. Okay. Yeah. I'm not familiar with this stock. So sorry. So I can't advise on VTRS. But let me see the stock analytics. I think the profit margin not very favorable. And yeah, I think this one is at the moment I don't think it's probably just a range bound trading lah. So it's probably not this is not a stock I would recommend at this point here. So if you want to participate in this weight loss stock boom, right? I would at this point recommend Novo because of better valuation, and also there's also still growth potential lah, for them. Right. Okay, so what is the PEG for both stock? I have not researched for this, so I can't answer also, so sorry. Yeah, right. Yeah, but PEG also is subjective because you need to know the growth rate in order to calculate. Yeah, but growth rate is a subjective number as well. Okay, so there's no other question. So with that, we will end the session today. We thank you for your attendance and support this evening, and we hope to see you again at our other webinars.